Have you ever wondered what the government doesn't want you to know when it comes to being prepared? It's a chilling thought, but history shows that in a crisis, certain items become so valuable, so essential, that controlling them becomes a top priority. Today we're pulling back the curtain on what I call the hidden prepper blacklist. These are 3 categories of items that might be overlooked by beginners, but are critically important. So important that in a widespread emergency, they could be among the first things to be regulated, restricted, or even confiscated. Stick with me, because knowing this could be the difference between thriving and just surviving. Let's dive right into our first item on the blacklist: long-range, two-way communication devices. I'm not talking about your cell phone. We all know how fragile that network is. One major storm, one cyber attack, and it's gone. I'm talking about things like ham radios, GMRS radios, and satellite phones. Why would these be on a blacklist? Simple. Information is power. In a crisis, the official narrative is the only one they want you to hear. They need to control the flow of information to prevent panic and maintain order. But independent communication allows people to share real-time, on-the-ground intelligence. You could learn which routes are safe, where resources are available, or where danger is brewing, all without a filter. Ham radio operators, for example, can communicate across states, even countries, with the right equipment and license. GMRS offers reliable, clear communication for groups over several miles. These networks operate independently of any official infrastructure. In a scenario where authorities are trying to manage a population, uncontrolled communication is a major wildcard. It undermines their ability to direct people and resources according to their plan. They wouldn't announce a ban. They'd likely cite national security or the need to prevent misinformation. They might restrict the sale of new equipment or even require registration of existing devices. So what's the move? Get licensed now. A ham or GMRS license is easy to get and opens up a world of reliable communication. Learn how to use the gear, practice with it, and understand its capabilities. Don't wait until you need it, because by then, getting it might be impossible. The second item on our hidden blacklist is something you might not expect: high-yield, non-hybrid seeds, also known as heirloom seeds. You're probably thinking, seeds? Really? Absolutely. Think about it. What happens after the initial chaos of a disaster subsides? The long-term challenge is food. Your stored food will eventually run out. The ability to grow your own food, season after season, becomes the ultimate form of self-reliance. And that's the key: season after season. Most seeds you buy at a big box store are hybrids. They're designed to produce a great crop for one season, but the seeds from that crop are often sterile or don't grow true to the parent plant. You have to buy new seeds every single year. This creates dependency. You're dependent on a corporate supply chain for your ability to eat. Heirloom seeds, on the other hand, are open-pollinated. You can save the seeds from your harvest, and they will produce the same quality crop the next year, and the year after that, and so on. It's a self-sustaining food source. In a long-term crisis, a person with a good stock of heirloom seeds and the knowledge to use them is not just feeding their family. They have a source of incredible wealth and power. They can trade seeds, trade food, and remain independent. Why would officials want to control this? To manage food distribution and prevent a barter economy they can't tax or control. They would want everyone reliant on official food aid. The solution is simple. Start building your seed bank now. Buy heirloom varieties that grow well in your climate. Learn the basics of seed saving. It's a skill that could be more valuable than gold. Now for our third and final item on the prepper blacklist: tools and knowledge for off-grid power and fuel production. This goes way beyond a simple gas generator. I'm talking about the means to generate your own electricity and produce your own fuel, completely independent of any utility company or gas station. This includes things like solar panel arrays with large battery banks, water wheels for hydropower if you have a creek, and stills for producing ethanol. Yes, you can legally produce ethanol for fuel with the right permits. Why is this on the list? Because energy is the lifeblood of modern society. Controlling energy means controlling what people can do. It controls heating, cooking, communication, and transportation. If you can generate your own power, You're not at the mercy of rolling blackouts or a collapsed grid. If you can produce your own fuel, you're not stuck in a 5-mile line for a few gallons of rationed gasoline. This level of independence is a direct challenge to centralized control. In a severe crisis, you can bet that fuel distribution will be one of the first things to be nationalized. They'll need it for emergency services, military, and logistics. Private ownership of large fuel reserves or the means to produce fuel would be seen as hoarding or even a threat. The same goes for power. Authorities would want to direct all available power to critical infrastructure like hospitals, not to individual homes. Your solar setup might be fine, but they could restrict the sale of components like inverters and charge controllers to prioritize official needs. The takeaway here is to invest in energy independence now. Start with a modest solar setup and learn how it works. Understand the principles of generating and storing power. Knowledge, in this case, is just as important as the hardware. So, let's recap the hidden prepper blacklist: long-range communication, heirloom seeds, and off-grid energy production. Notice the common thread here. It's not about guns or ammo, which are obvious. It's about independence, true long-term self-reliance, the ability to communicate without oversight, grow your own food indefinitely, and power your own life. These are the things that allow individuals and communities to thrive without centralized control. And in a world that is becoming more and more fragile, that independence is the most valuable asset you can have. It's not about being paranoid, it's about being prudent. It's about looking at the chessboard of a potential crisis and thinking a few moves ahead. Start taking small steps today. Get your radio license, buy a packet of heirloom seeds, research a small solar panel. Every step you take towards self-reliance is a step away from being a victim of circumstance. Thanks for watching today. I hope this gives you a new perspective on what it means to be truly prepared. Don't just stack beans and bullets. Think about the systems that support your life and how you can make them your own. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Stay safe and stay prepared.